Everyone does everything for themselves. You have probably often heard, or maybe you yourself have said, sentences like, I did ABC because of you. I did XYZ because of you. Or the classic one, parents are willing to do everything for their children. Sometimes, from the outside, you can even see people who are willing to take a loss so that we can benefit. But if you try to think about it very carefully, parents sacrifice. Parents do everything for us. For what? So that we can be happy. And if we are happy, then what? Seeing my child happy already makes me happy. So isn't it true that the things parents are doing for us, in the end, are so that the parents themselves can be happy? If seeing us miserable made our parents feel happy, do you think they would make us miserable for the rest of our lives? I bet they would. It is just that our brains are not designed to think that way. From there, you can see that if even our own parents, the greatest and most selfless people in this life, are unconsciously doing everything for themselves, then we can generalize that everyone is doing everything for themselves, not for anyone else. The explanation for this is also very simple: survival instinct. It is the strongest, most primitive instinct of the human species. Since ancient times, we used that instinct to fight wild animals or harsh weather, to find food, with the purpose of maintaining the life of our own selves. Later actions such as having children, raising children, or bringing prey back to the family are all expressions of the instinct to maintain the bloodline. However, survival instinct came first, and it is more powerful than all of them. And that primitive survival instinct is still inside us. It is hidden very deep in the subconscious, but it is also the invisible factor that spreads through and exists inside every gesture, behavior, and thought we have in modern times. Anything the brain considers bad, anything that has a negative influence on you yourself, its owner, it will immediately control you and make you stop doing that thing right away. Life does not owe us anything. With that same way of thinking, you will realize that in love, gifts, care, and sacrifices for each other may all appear on the outside to be for you, for me, but they are all for ourselves. We have to feel happy and joyful when we see our lover wearing nice clothes, being cared for properly, and staying healthy, before we will do those things voluntarily, because at that moment your brain believes that doing those things makes you feel comfortable and safe. Once you have understood that the things you have done for the other person all this time were actually for yourself, and were done voluntarily by you, then, heaven forbid, if the two of you break up, that person does not owe you anything, right? That person did not force you to do anything, and you yourself only did those things for your own sake. So when fate has run out, then let us also leave each other gently. Do not drag out reasons from long ago to accuse each other, like, I used to stay by your side when you had nothing, and now you blah blah. Or, I worked myself to death to buy her that lipstick, and then she went and blah blah. This does not mean you are not allowed to feel sad, heartbroken, or empty, but use that way of thinking to quickly get out of suffering, heal the wound, and happily move forward. Similarly, if you are someone's parent, do not assume that because you gave birth to them and raised them, they have to do what you want because they owe you. The culture of remembering the source when drinking water is beautiful, but love and respect should come from deep within, from sincere feelings, not be performed just to repay a debt of affection. Social interaction is the same. There will be many times when you encounter situations where you treat people well, but they treat you badly. Try applying that same way of thinking, and you will realize that actually, you treat other people well not so that they will like you, nor so that later they will help you back, but simply because doing good things makes you feel at ease, and your conscience does not bite at you. So you do it for the peace inside your own soul. If you can think like that, then no matter how the world treats us, we can still always hold on to our kind nature, without hatred or schemes for revenge. In the past, my father treated my mother very badly. When she was preparing to file for divorce, the whole family discovered that my father had cancer. At that time, the disease was detected early, but the medical level in Vietnam was not yet strong enough to guarantee successful treatment, so the safest option was to go to Singapore for treatment. In that situation, my mother could have completely finished the divorce procedures and turned her back and walked away, and no one would have been able to criticize her, because she had treated my father's family, as well as everyone around her, very thoroughly and properly. It was enough that everyone loved and respected her, stood on her side, and supported her divorce. But at that time, my mother stayed beside my father, poured all of her savings, which covered 3/4 of the treatment cost, into taking him to Singapore for treatment. In Singapore, it was also only my mother who went with my father and took care of him after the rounds of radiation therapy, because no one in the family, including my father's own siblings, could bear my father's poisonous mouth and nasty tongue. Only much later, after my father's illness had improved a lot, did my mother proceed with the divorce. Many people could not believe that someone could do what my mother did. When asked why, my mother only said, "I just did what I had to do so that my own conscience would not feel uneasy. As for feelings between two people, there was never anything left anyway." Clearly, my mother did not do those things to be honored, admired, or because she hoped my father would wake up and change. My mother did them for herself. Conclusion: everyone does everything for themselves. Therefore, first of all, know how to love yourself. Invest in yourself, from health to knowledge to cultivating your character. Next, do everything for the sake of your own inner health. However you want to treat other people, just treat them that way. Do not change that way of treating people because of what others have done or are doing to you. The very act of plotting revenge against someone else, no matter what the reason may be, already brings negative energy into your inner world and your brain. Additional note: reading up to here may offend many of you, so I have a few words to add. In essence, yes, parents voluntarily do everything that benefits us, but they do it to serve their own happiness. Does that sound selfish? Yes. Suppose a researcher knows that if he finds a cure for cancer, he will save many people, but for him, he absolutely hates the process of doing that research. His brain equates that research with something as terrifying as death. So will he continue doing it? At that moment, survival instinct will step in and protect the sufferer. No. Is that selfish? Yes. And we ourselves are a selfish species, because above all else, every person cares about their own survival instinct. That is the unpleasant truth. Phrases like beautiful, selfless, and kindness are concepts used to paint life with more colors and guide people toward a better way of living. But this article is discussing the deep root behind those actions. Ugly and naked. As for whether we are ungrateful or not, that lies completely on our side. When you are ungrateful to your parents or to anyone who has done something for you, if your brain judges that doing so makes you feel happy and makes your body feel safe, then you will definitely act ungratefully without feeling even one bit of uneasiness or guilt. This explains why there are people who enjoy knocking others down and still do not regret it, and even feel delighted by it. Conversely, when the brain sees ingratitude as disloyal, immoral, and wrong, your brain will order you not to do it, because doing it will bring discomfort to your body. That means it is not beneficial to the owner of the brain, so do not do it. Therefore, when you are not ungrateful to other people, it is not because you are afraid they will be hurt, but because you are protecting your own soul and conscience in an unconscious way. Similarly, seeing the core of the issue and deciding what attitude to have also lies on our side. You know the truth. You look at everyone and see them all as hypocrites, and from there you become guarded, think badly, get stressed. Are those good signals for our survival, both physically and psychologically? No. Then look at and use that knowledge in another direction. Instead of thinking about outsiders, think about the survival, comfort, and happiness inside our own soul. We do not need to know what outsiders think, and we do not let what is outside affect our existence, because we are living for ourselves. Just be grateful to your parents. Be grateful to the people who have helped you, if you feel that doing so is right, happy, and comfortable. If not, do not do it. It is that simple. Just do the things you believe are right, the things that make you feel happy, the things that let you be yourself. When you are good to someone and other people tell you, "You idiot." Nobody just randomly buys food for a scrap collector. Make your decision based on exactly what you feel, instead of the words of the world.
This was Capricorn Psychology. Patient minds, ancient questions. Until the stars align again.